Hi there, gang. Hey, it's Chris Bear here again, talking today about birds, sort of. Let's start with the owls. I got some notes because I forget everything. What happens here is we have barn owls on the property. We have about 15 homes for them, a very special box, and they come in and take up residency. And what they do for us in exchange for that is they provide what I'm going to show you right here. This is what they do. I'm going to scrape down a little bit, and I'm going to be washing my hands after this, but that's a pullet. This is a pullet. That means it's the entire mass of a gopher. If you open this up, everything's in it. The head, the skull, every bone, and all the hair. The only thing missing is the part that the owl wanted to keep for his nutrients. And here's your little skulls. And this tells us that this owl box is very active. And it's a friend of the vineyard. It's a big friend because they'll eat 1,000 mice and gophers a year, each one of them. And at 300 yards between each box, that saves us an incredible amount of pesticides. So the barn owl is our friend, and it's a terrific manager for our vineyard to help us and our SIP program. So now let's go for a second to the bat. First of all, the bat's not a bird, it's a mammal. It's the only flying mammal in the world. And what's interesting is the bat is more adept at flying than any other bird because of the size of its wings and the way it moves. But it doesn't have feathers, it has hair. And the bats live in our bat houses. And the bat houses are put there to allow the bats to not get on our home where they cause a little havoc. But they're so vital because what they do is they eat all of the bugs and insects, especially mosquitoes, and a special moth. There's a moth that's very harmful to our vines. They will go and kill that at night. They're night stalkers. They're an amazing little creature. They save us an incredible amount of pesticides a year, and the bat guano, which many parts of the world use for fertilizer, we don't do that here, but it's a sought after item, and it's a very important part of our SIP program. The next bird is the falcon, the peregrine falcon or the other falcons. We have falcons here that are released here from the LA airport. They trap them there to prevent them from hurting the planes and hurting themselves, and then they bring them up here. Falcon is the fastest bird in the world. They will eat other birds, and the birds they eat are the starlings and the small birds which come in and attack our vines. They'll eat snakes and mice. And they're also a remarkable resource to have on our property, so we encourage them to live near and around our creeks by making it convenient. Our wildlife refuge, the more refuge we have, the more birds we get, the more untouched areas, except by cattle out there roaming. The next bird is the hawk. The hawk is very stealth. They will attack from above, and they will get snakes, raccoons, rabbits, mice, an occasional gopher, and they too are an integral part of our wildlife program. All of it combines to save us incredible amounts of energy. We don't have to use any poison on the property because when you use a poison on a gopher, the gopher then gets eaten by a bird and the bird then dies. The last creature, which is the top of the food chain, is the bald eagle that lives here. We have a mom and a dad here that have been here for 4 years. They built a nest. There's 2 babies in the nest right now. I'm going to try to get some pictures of it today. And every year, the mom and the dad come back to our property, on the back of the property above a creek, and they mate. And the other thing that's interesting about eagles is they're very loyal. They stay mated for life. And sort of a sign of their life's time together is they add to their nest every year, and that's why the nest now is 7 feet across and 7 feet high. It started at 3 by 3. Every year they bring in new sticks and new logs and enlarge and make they put an addition on their building at the top of our oak tree. and it's a sign that they've been together a long time. They will mate once a year in the springtime, provide us with 2 babies. The babies grow up and at 6 weeks drop out. But the eagle does and eats whatever it wants, and it'll eat items that are those animals that are already dead, but it really takes care of our squirrels. And more important than that is when you have an eagle living on your property, as we're fortunate to have, it tells you that something's working on your property as far as wildlife refuge. They're not going to come if they're disturbed. They're not going to come if they don't have good food. They're not going to come if they don't have good line of sight and a good way to stay safe and build their nest. And they have to have water. So they love it here. When they fly by as they're leaving the property line, we always tend to get possessive and say, no, don't go too far and please come home. And we're very grateful that for the past 4 years, they've done just that. So I hope I've given you a little bit of understanding of the things that fly above our heads. Those are the 3 birds we talked about and the 1 mammal, the bat. All 4 integral parts of our SIP program here at Oso Libre. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.